Hello and welcome to Higher Ed Live, the live weekly web show all about the world of higher education. We're here always talking about digital development, professional empowerment. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I am your host, Seth Odell, and well, I'm glad you guys are here today. We're talking all about live streaming 101, 201, 300. It's going to be a lot of information. A lot. So I hope you guys are ready. Sit back, grab onto those armrests on your chair, grab a pen, maybe a cold beverage. We're going to take this one pretty freaking fast. Okay, guys, so let's very first off the bat say a quick thank you to our sponsors. Higher Ed Live is sponsored by Integral, the creators of the Schools app on Facebook. Be sure to check out their webinar series about how they can help you leverage Facebook to increase yield and retention. That happens next Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We just sent a tweet out with that link, so definitely go ahead and check it out. Also, big thanks to our other sponsors, Omni Update, the leading web content management system CMS provider for higher education. The company's web CMS OU campus is secure, scalable, with great tools and features, deployment flexibility, and an awesome user community. In fact, it was the highest ranked CMS in customer satisfaction in 2010 EDGuru survey. So guys, if your campus is looking at different CMS, check out Omni Update. Do yourselves the favor and get that done. And finally, a thank you as well to Scavenger, a Google-funded mobile game about going places, doing challenges, and earning points. You should check out what the University of Alberta students are doing. They're using Scavenger to create a game to boost engagement with local businesses during the holiday season, and they've been getting a lot of TV coverage from it, actually. So I'm going to send a link out with that. It's pretty cool stuff. So props to the students at University of Alberta for using that, making it happen. Bravo. My hat is off to them. That's the thank you to our sponsors. And again, guys, I'm your host, Seth Odell. We're going to dive right in. But first, we start each and every show with a little something we like to call the Weekly 5. And by the way, I see a little transition action going on. My apologies about that. But hey, that's what happens when a show is live. Weekly 5, 5 stories from around the world of higher education that you should read, star. Promise yourself, I'm going to get back and make this happen because this looks really cool and interesting. But if you don't have time, guess what, guys? I read them for you. That's what we do. Number 1, up on the Weekly 5. YouTube has announced some new analytics. They've essentially moved from YouTube Insight into YouTube Analytics. Just happened this week. I just did my own reporting, actually, out of SNHU today, so I ran through a lot of stuff. It's pretty great, to be honest. It's not crazy different, but there's a lot more information. You can get a lot more stuff specifically within each video, seeing where people drop off, seeing how people are engaging it. Way better engagement stats in general. So hats off to YouTube. More data, the better. The more information we have, the smarter decisions we can make. Next up, 2012 trends, checking in on checking out. You heard it here first, twice already, with Jeff Kerchick from Scavenger coming on talking about how checking in is fading, but location is not. And, well, you heard it here first, but other folks are now starting to say the same thing. It is interesting information. If you follow the location game, as you know we do here, keep an eye on that. Coming up next, gotta tip my hat to my alma mater, to be honest. Some scandalous, not scandalous, let's just say some fans are pretty upset with UCLA athletics right now, with some decisions that are being made with the sports teams, with some stuff going on with the athletics director. And I just got to say real quickly, what happened at UCLA was that some folks from Bruins Nation, awesome website, absolutely love them, were saying, you know, hey, we're going to stop supporting UCLA fund. We're going to stop making donations so that way the athletic directors know we're serious. And I got to say, honestly, that you know, Serenia, who's a woman I know from UCLA, hats off to her, jumped right in and has been having a great dialogue with social media, talking about why they shouldn't do that. And in the middle of so many controversies in higher ed, we've been following a lot of them, you know, you hear about them. So many universities are keeping tight-lipped when things happen. I just have to say to Serenia, hats off to you, first unsolicited shout of the day, for speaking up and in the middle of a crisis saying, hold on, you know, we're going to talk with you, we're going to listen to you, we're going to hear what you have to say. I think that's pretty cool. Next up, I'll get a link out shortly, but over at higheredlive.com, we have another Meet the Innovator speaker series up. It's another interview we have this time with Profology. Profology is a new social network for higher education that's launching beta January 3rd, and the thing I really like about it that's cool is it's supposed to be for everyone, for faculty, for staff, for everybody. It's kind of interesting when you think about it. With social networking in higher education, we go to conferences, right? We all talk, we all mingle, we all try to stay connected. But then when it comes back time to going online, we kind of stay within the very silos we claim that we want to dismantle. So there's all these social networks currently in higher education that keep, if you're a web marketer, you're over here. If you're doing something else, you're over here. Faculty, you're over here. Great sites, but all of them are segmenting us in a community. So what Profology is aiming to do is build one community where everyone can come together, folks from the faculty side, from the administrative side, everybody can come together and have an open conversation. I'm excited about seeing where this goes personally. I want to be able to learn more about pedagogy and talk to faculty members and hear these things and have these opportunities to connect with people that are passionate about higher education but maybe do something completely different than what I do. So hats off to them. I'm excited to see that. And finally, a really great post from the one and only Fran Zablocki on life cycle management in higher education. Guys, I'm sure you probably saw this post. It was going all over the place, but if you did not, please check it out. It's an amazing post just about life cycle management and what we do to support our students, our alumni. The article is about how a student comes through the university. Essentially, you get to know them in admissions, you get to know them in academic advising, and then they leave for alumni, and it's as if we don't know who they are at all anymore. It's really an important conversation. Life cycle management is massively important. It's something I'm really, really getting passionate about. This is going to be the thing I'm following hardcore for 2012 is lifecycle management in higher ed, and my hat is off to Fran for actually stepping up and writing an amazing post about it. And the thing is, and I gotta say this really nicely, is he wrote it so well that it's also the kind of thing that's easily consumable and shareable. So you can share this with your bosses, with your colleagues, and spread it around. He kind of jabs us, nudges us, but reels us right back in and gives us really tangible things we can do. So hats off to him, so much so that not only am I giving him the unsolicited shout out of the week, Fran, that's right, I went so far as to actually ask Fran if he would come on and host next week's show. That's how much I was impressed with that post. So next week, I won't be here, but Fran will. His guest, I don't even know yet. We're trying to figure that out. But I said, Fran, I want to put you on the show. I want to let you have a chance to say what is on your mind because clearly you have a lot to say and you're pretty articulate about it. So, please, guys, say congratulations to him. Next week, he'll be hosting on my behalf, and I'm excited to see how that goes. That's the unsolicited shout out of the week. That's the weekly 5. But, guys, aren't we here to talk about live streaming? That's right, live streaming 101. The next 45 minutes are going to be fast, real fast, crazy fast. And if you have something to say, let me know. I'm going to put it up there. I'm going to share what's going on. I want to hear your thoughts throughout this entire show. You know the hashtag. It's Higher Ed Live. I'll pull it up. I'll share it. And we're going to have a little bit of conversation. That's what we are going to do. Are you ready? I'm glad to hear it. All right, let's get in. Live streaming. We all are here because we want to talk more about live streaming, but briefly, why would we live stream? Obviously, just very briefly, one, it just plumb makes sense, but more importantly, it gives your audience geographical freedom. Up until now, the interesting thing has been that any campus event that we put on has been restricted to one type of community member, and that's the type of community member that can physically come to campus. Not anymore. Anyone anywhere in the world can experience any of the events that we put on campus. Geographical freedom, that's pretty amazing. The 99% of people that can't physically come to campus, can't drive to campus, park, walk across, and sit their butts in a chair in an auditorium can still experience the wonderful content your institution is putting on. That is pretty powerful stuff. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So, I love it, I love it, I love it. You know I do it every week, live streaming, but the other thing, and this is why I'm going to pull this up real quick and just say, is that it gives your audience the ability to go from being a passive observer to an active participant. Let me just say this. Look at this. You guys are talking right now. I'm pulling it up. I'm showing what you guys are saying. You are actively participating in this show. You are controlling the direction in which this show goes. That's the awesome, exciting thing about doing an event live streaming, and that's why we're talking all about it today. So how are we going to break this show down today, guys? Well, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to break down the tools first, talking about platforms, cameras, what you need to know, how you want to be able to use it, the different options you have, and I'll give you my advice on how to focus, how to answer certain problems. But again, it's up to you. Not everything is cut and dry. You may disagree with me. If you do, let me know. I'll display your tweets on screen. Then I'm going to give you tips and tricks from the over 100 events that I've done, so hopefully you don't run into all the insane problems that I have and avoid at least a few of the headaches that I've had to incur over the past 3.5 years that I've been live streaming. So that's what we're going to do. Who is ready to dive into today's show? You are, I am, let's do it. Okay, coming up first, we're talking about platforms. That's the big thing that everyone talks about. Okay, we're going to talk about live streaming, right? Well, how the heck are we going to do it? Okay, this is the big question. How are we actually going to live stream? How are we going to do it? There's 3 ways to live stream, so understand this. The first way to live stream is doing it in-house, and that means you're going to host the actual stream on your own servers. The second way to do it is to outsource it and actually just hire some company to come in and do it. That's what happens most of the time at commencement, right? You hire a company, they come in and they live stream for you. And the third way is third-party web-based platforms. You've heard of them, Ustream, Livestream. Well, let's break down right now which of those 3 is the best option. 1, in-house is not the best option. Why should you not use your own servers to actually host a live stream? It's simple. You will always have a cap on your concurrent viewers. At UCLA, most of our servers on campus could only have 200 live viewers at a time. Think about that. Only 200 live viewers. If you're 201, either you're not getting in or everybody's getting a decreased bandwidth and a terrible user experience. That's tough. So why go to all the work of putting on a great event and knowing that you have a cap of concurrent viewers? How many can watch live at any given time? That's the problem with in-house solutions. At UCLA, it would have cost $100,000 to upgrade the service across campus. That's a huge cost burden. That's not scalable. That's not realistic. Number two, what about outsourcing? Bringing in outside companies? No. Why not? Because that's not scalable either. The fact is, live streaming with outside vendors can be incredibly expensive. And sure, you might be doing it for commencement. It might work once in a while, but how expensive is it really? The cheapest that I've ever seen it go is $750 all the way to $25,000 and more. Tell me you can do that 3 to 5 times a week, because you can't. You can't do it 3 to 5 times a week, but guess what? Once you start live streaming, your audience starts wanting to see this and experience this more often, you're going to want to stream more. So find a scalable solution that can grow with you as you start to grow with live streaming. And that's why the best option for live streaming is the third option. That's third-party web-based platforms. So again, what do I mean by that? Let's pull them up and talk about it right now. Those are the things you've heard of. They're Ustream.tv, Livestream.com. You've also heard of Justin.tv. You might have heard of Vocal. You might have heard of Bamboozle. You might have heard of Quick. There are a lot of options out there for web-based platforms. So why do web-based platforms work for live streaming? Well, number one, they're always scalable in the sense that you can have unlimited concurrent viewers. Ustream and Livestream, the two biggest in the field, they've never, ever capped a live show they've ever done. That means you can have 50,000 people watching or more at any given time. Now, are you going to have 50,000 people? Probably not, but guess what? Don't you want to have the option to always grow as fast as your audience can grow with you? Yes, you do, and that's why Ustream and Livestream is the best. Also, it's completely 100% free. 100% free. It's cheaper than the cup of coffee you bought on your way into work today. 100% free. That's pretty awesome. That's scalable. Why? You can do unlimited events for $0. That's pretty exciting. Those are two reasons. Also, it's social. They build in social features like Twitter. They build in Facebook chat, a lot of cool stuff, and they're doing all the hard legwork for you. It's really easy, limited learning curve. Guys, trust me, Ustream, Livestream, those are the best options for you. Bottom line, that's platforms. That's platforms there, but here's the thing. They're free, right? But guess why they're free? Because they run ads. And that's what everyone says. They say, okay, live streams have ads. What are we going to do, right? Well, let me talk about the ads that are on these third-party platforms like Livestream and Ustream. And first, let me say, as I go through this today, guys, I'm going to focus exclusively on Ustream and Livestream. Why? Because they're the two best in the market. I've tested all of them out there. I will say Vocal has got some pretty cool stuff going on too for talk show style stuff, but in general, the big boys, Ustream, Livestream, I'm going to focus on them. I have the most experience. I have the most faith that you guys will be using that too. So the ads, here's how the ads work. On Ustream, there are pre-roll ads. That means you land on Ustream and there's a 15-second to 30-second ad that runs before your video. Same thing as if you watch something on Hulu, right? An ad runs if you're watching a news story online, for instance. Then your show starts and then you get a lower third ad. And that lower third ad pops up anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes and you have to click a little X that covers the lower third of the screen and it pulls it back down. Now, you may notice that you're not experiencing those ads on Higher Ed Live, and that's because we pay to remove them. And I'll talk all about that in a minute. But that's the advertising we're currently seeing on Ustream and Livestream. But here is the thing. Ustream changed things recently. So, Livestream, they've been doing the same thing. A little pre-roll ad, little lower thirds. But Ustream, 2.5 months ago, they did something different. They've started running mid-show ads. That's right. Ustream runs ads in the middle of your show for 30 seconds. Now, here's the thing with ads in general. I always say this. Your community and your audience would rather watch an event with ads than not be able to watch it at all. You tell me you can find a mother of a graduating student that says, I don't want to watch my child graduate online unless there's no ads. I'd rather not experience it at all. It's not going to happen because the reality is the barrier to entry for ads is not the barrier to entry we think it is. People want the content. They're willing to sit through ads. But Ustream, man, they have screwed a lot of people big time by putting ads in the middle of your events. That's a huge burden. That's a huge problem. That's actually the reason Higher Ed Live went ahead and went completely ad-free. So that's why right now, guys, everyone says, what do you pick, Seth, Ustream versus Livestream? If you are going to allow ads on your content, the answer is Livestream.com 100%. Period. Ustream versus Livestream, if you're going to allow ads, and that means it's going to be free, you have to go with Livestream. It's simply a better user experience for your audience member. You have to respect that. You have to give them an experience that works for them. Bottom line, I just said it. If you're going to allow ads, it's not Ustream. That's not the answer. Now, that being said, guys, some bad news. I picked up an internal memo from Livestream, on the internet. Gotta love the power of that. And they're looking to move into this model too. So keep an eye on it, that these things change. If you're watching this show, you know, this has been broadcast obviously in December. If you're watching this in the springtime, they might be running the same kind of ads. These things have been changing. At one point, neither of these sites has ads at all, right? But they do now. So for right now, you want to go with Livestream over Ustream if you're going to allow ads. That's the big difference. But again, you're going to get pushback internally about the ads. You're going to get pushback. But I tell you this, people would rather have access to these events than not have them at all. So start with ads if you need to, and then from there, then think about removing the ads. But do not start at all simply because there might be a 30-second ad at the beginning of the event. That's unacceptable, and that's a BS excuse from people that don't want to try something new, and don't want to embrace something that they know they need to do, but they don't want to because they didn't do it yesterday. Ads are not the barrier to entry we think they are, but hey, if you're going to allow ads, Livestream is the way to go. So that's ads. Thank you guys for all the feedback. I'm kind of running at a mile a minute, but I appreciate that you guys are doing your best to keep up. Let's see what's going next. So if we know ads are there, well, what are the pricing to remove them? Well, on Ustream, the pricing starts at $99 a month, goes all the way up to $1,000 a month, and it's based on how many viewer hours you have. One person watches 1 hour, that's a viewer hour. 2 people watch for 30 minutes, that's a viewer hour, right? Here at Higher Ed Live, ready for this, guys? I am spilling the beans today. Here at Higher Ed Live, because I love you, I pay $500 a month to remove the ads off of this program. Now, that's a good amount of money, and it gets us 4,000 viewer hours, and thankfully we do fall underneath that, but we do that so you guys don't have to experience the ads. That's where we fall in this. It also comes with some interesting branding options. It comes with a couple extra features. Now, let me say this. For those of you that watch Higher Ed Live, for those of you that appreciate what we do, $500 isn't that much for an institution necessarily, right? Now, we allowed ads until the experience became so bad that we felt that we couldn't do so any longer because the ads running on our program were getting in the way between you enjoying the content, getting the content you needed, being able to empower yourself to go off and do a better job. So we paid to remove them. It's the same thing for your institution. It's not as expensive as you might think. In Livestream, the pricing is a little different. They calculate a little differently, but at the end of the day, guys, the numbers are pretty much similar. They have a free plan that's ad supported, obviously, and then they have plans starting at $350 to $1,250 a month for 3,000 hours or 15,000. So Ustream, at least, I can't say for sure for Livestream, Ustream has a calculator where you can calculate how many hours you have. Keep this in mind. The nice thing about Ustream, too, for ad-free is that it can be a month-to-month thing. So there are some nice benefits that you could put it up for commencement and then cancel the plan the next month. So look into the numbers. The numbers are different for everybody. I can't give you guys advice on what platform to use if you're going to be ad-free necessarily in the same way because, you know, the pricing is different depending on how many viewers you're going to have, how many events you're going to do. But look into it. Again, I would say start with ads is fine, but then look into going ad-free because it's worth it for your audience. I know it is for me to know that you guys are able to watch these events, watch what we're doing at least, and not be interrupted by ads because I don't want you guys to have that experience. So, again, that's the thing to know about going ad-free is to get pricing and to look into it. But let's say you're going to go ad-free. Then which platform is better, Ustream or Livestream, right? We're going to dive into all that in just a second. Let's keep this going, guys. We're not going to slow down. I hope you guys can keep up because, no, we are not. Well, the reality is using either of these platforms is plug and play. You're talking about plugging a camera into a laptop, going to the website, and hitting broadcast. That's it. That's it. Really easy to use, right? Very simple to use stuff here. As far as how to physically live stream, you're talking about plugging a camera with a FireWire cable. We'll talk about this stuff in a minute. Don't worry. Don't need to take notes right now. Into a laptop. We're using a webcam, firing it up, and essentially hitting broadcast. It's essentially that easy to start, right? But the reality is if you're doing these events, you want to do a little bit more than just do a plug and play. You want to go a little bit deeper, and that's why both Ustream and Livestream have some pretty cool options, which are desktop applications that take the experience that you're viewing to the next level. For Ustream, that's called Ustream Producer Pro, okay? And this is a software that costs, you know, I'm shaking my head now, I'm trying to remember, I think it's about $399, and it might be $300, and it's essentially a desktop application that allows you to switch screen to screen, allows you to do multiple shots, and guess what, guys? That's what I'm using right now. So the way you're able to watch and see me pull up you guys talking here and putting me next side by side, what I'm using right now is called Ustream Producer Pro. And it's pretty cool. It literally takes like a TV mixing board, this entire giant board when I used to work at ABC News that was sitting there, and it squeezes the whole thing into your computer. And you can pull up images like we do all the time. Remember, I pull up the weekly 5, all of a sudden I pull back here and I'm doing this. I'm literally just clicking the mouse. And there's this, as I'll pull up that screen image again so you can see it, You have your video on the left is like a preview screen. You have your live image on the right, and then you have all these other images on the bottom. And you can have multiple audio sources coming in. Guys, this is the kind of thing that takes your event to the next level. So for Ustream, it's called Ustream Producer Pro. You want to check this out. You want to do your events like this. Don't just plug your camera in. Make it look really professional. Again, this is how we do little things like lower thirds. I mean, I'll be honest, we haven't even touched the surface on what we can do here at HireEd Live. You can do bugs going across the screen. You can do all sorts of stuff that really makes it look like a nice interactive experience. But Ustream is not the only ones that do it. In fact, Livestream has something very similar, and it's called TriCaster. And they use something very similar. They also have a studio version that's even more advanced. Ustream's launching a more advanced version as well. But with TriCaster, you have a lot of the same features that you do with Ustream Producer Pro. You can do picture-in-picture. You can display multiple camera sources, multiple audio sources. This is how you take an event, again, further along. And the cool thing is TriCaster is completely free. Ustream Producer Pro, you can download a version that's watermarked to test. So guys, test it out, either one. Definitely check them both out. They're pretty similar. I like a little bit more Ustream Producer Pro personally. I do. I like it a little more. I mean, maybe it's because I've used it for so long, but I've used Livestream TriCaster and Livestream Studio, which is the really advanced version, and I haven't quite liked them quite as much. But it's still pretty impressive stuff. This is how you take the events that you're watching or the shows you're putting on, whatever you're live streaming, and make them look really professional. Here at HireEd Live, we wouldn't exist without Ustream Producer Pro. It is literally what makes our experience, I hope for you guys, look engaging, interactive. It's how we bring on our guests. It's how we do everything that we do. It's really, really cool. So, it's awesome. And guys, I'm going to slow down for 1 second and say this. I'm trying my best to keep up with all your questions here. I am flying. But ask those questions if you have them. This is not just my hour to rant. This is my hour to help you guys out. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to dive through this stuff. And if I miss your tweet, just keep tweeting it at me. I swear I'm trying to keep up as best I can. But I'll answer anything you guys want to know about live streaming. But until then, I'm going to keep the knowledge train churning along and keep powering this through. So what's next up for us to talk about? Well, here's a question that comes up. Mobile friendly. Right? This is a big thing now. Just today I found out here at SNHU, where we're broadcasting, Southern New Hampshire University, amazing place, snhu.edu, check it out. That's where we're broadcasting today. Well, I checked out today the stats on our mobile viewing. In the past 6 months, mobile viewership on YouTube has almost doubled, up to nearly 14% of all SNHU YouTube videos are watched via mobile device now. That's pretty crazy, right? And the thing is, that's going to be the same thing for live stream. More and more people are on tablets, or they're watching on their phone, or guess what? If you're emailing out information about come watch this live stream, they're getting that information on their phone. So they're clicking it, and they're wondering, why can't I watch this on my mobile device? So people ask me, Seth, what's the better platform to actually have a mobile viewing experience? Well, if you're going to live stream with Ustream, like we're doing now, people have to watch via the Ustream application. So that means if you have an iPad, if you have an iPhone, you can download the Ustream viewer application, search for HireEd Live, and you can watch and have a really great viewer experience. But you have to do it through the app. That's the key there. And that's a tough thing with Ustream. So if you land on our page without it, well, you're not necessarily going to have a really great experience. But what about Livestream, right? The other one that we're talking about? Well, they're a little bit different. Most people don't know, but there are settings in Livestream if you're using TriCaster. Remember TriCaster, guys? That was the Livestream feature that was kind of like a mixing board. If you're using Livestream TriCaster, well, guess what you can do? You can set it up to have mobile settings. And what it does is TriCaster says, okay, we're going to send a low bandwidth version for mobile devices, and then we're going to send a higher quality version for folks that are watching on a traditional computer. That's right, it's actually responsive design and delivers the best experience to both people. I gotta say hats off to Livestream for doing this. It's really, really cool. But it takes some tricky maneuvering on the back end. You got to make sure your settings are right. So just using Livestream does not mean you're mobile friendly. That's the big takeaway I want you guys to have right now. If you're using Livestream, it doesn't necessarily mean you're mobile friendly. You got homework to do, but you can make it happen. So that's the thing to know about that, and that's mobile. Also, mobile broadcasting, we're talking about some cool things you can do with that in a minute. It's pretty impressive. So bottom line with platforms before we move on, Ustream versus Livestream. If you're going to have ads, you want to go with Livestream. If it's ad-free, well, you can go with Ustream if it's a single university channel. And here's what I mean by that. I think the Ustream backend is a little bit better. The Ustream Producer Pro, I like it a little bit more. So if you're going to have one channel for your whole institution and it's going to be ad-free, I say go with Ustream. So if you're going to have ads, you go with Livestream. If you're going to go ad-free with a single university channel, you want Ustream. But if you want to have an ad-free that's with a campaign, you want Livestream. And let me tell you this, I've never spoken about this publicly, but here's the top secret information about Livestream, guys. The SEO on Livestream channels, livestream.com, not just Ustream, livestream.com channels, is insane. The SEO is insane, and that's why if you're live streaming, you don't necessarily want to have just one channel for your entire institution. No, no, no. In fact, you may want to have them for specific departments or maybe specific majors, because if you have a specific channel with specific keywords, just check what the Google results are, guys. I can't believe people have not picked up on this yet. Live stream channels have amazing SEO. Think about that. So if you want to go with ads, it's Livestream. Without ads for one university-wide channel, it's Ustream. But if you want to go ad-free and get really smart and have some sick return, you want to go with Livestream and introduce yourself to the SEO gold that is livestream.com that is yet to be talked about publicly till right now. That's the platform. So it's not just about platforms, right? How are you going to do it? What camera are you going to use? What camera do you have? Well, let's talk about equipment, and let's do this right now. So we're talking about cameras. Everyone wants to know, what kind of camera should I use? Well, let's talk about it. Okay, first thing to know if you're talking about cameras is you can live stream these days with just about anything. Just about anything. You can live stream with your iPhone, with a smartphone. You can live stream with an iPad. There's been stories, blog posts out now about people in higher ed, actually streaming events with an iPad. So more than anything, I want you guys to know right now, you can stream with whatever you already have. So there is no barrier to entry as far as equipment is concerned. Please keep that in mind. That being said, I wouldn't advise streaming all your events with a phone or an iPad. I think that we can have a little bit of a higher caliber experience. But if that's where you're at right now, that's where you're at, and that's okay. That's okay. But let's talk a little bit more about this equipment. Okay, so cameras. There's two things you need to know about real cameras that you're going to use for live streaming. The first one is your camera have FireWire or not? So people always say a FireWire camera, and this is where people get a little bit confused. I'm going to do my best to break this down for you. FireWire is a type of cable that can transmit a video and audio signal to your computer. It looks a little bit like this, right? And it has another end that goes into your computer, and it fits right into your camera in a port like this. Now the thing is, not every camera has FireWire. How do you know if a camera has FireWire? It's pretty simple, guys. Does your camera take tapes? Remember mini DV tape cameras? These were like the big thing back in the day. They're kind of fading a little bit now. Mini DV cameras have FireWire. Now if you have FireWire, that means all you got to do is plug this little cable into this camera, and this camera into your laptop, and you can get the signal live. That's how easy it is. Nice quality right here, HD cameras you can use. If you want to know a good FireWire camera, affordable FireWire camera, this is the Canon HV40. This is arguably, I would recommend, the best affordable live streaming camera, running $600 right now at bandhphoto.com. At least it was. Hope it hasn't gone back up. It was $1,000 just 4 months ago. This is a really, really low-cost entry camera for live streaming with HD, which you can do with both Livestream or Ustream if you pay extra. You got to pay a little bit extra to be able to do that. Not every month, but a one-time $100 fee to live stream in HD. So, is your camera FireWire? If your camera is FireWire, and a lot of the old cameras lying around are going to be, well, good news, you can stream with a cable and a laptop. That's just about it. Pretty interesting stuff. Now, that being said, you may wonder, do I need to stream via HD? The answer is no, you don't. If you have an old standard camera lying around, that is totally going to work. So I have streamed a lot of events, a lot of times in standard definition, and the fact is this, I think streaming HD doesn't make sense right now. Because the reality is, it's just a harder experience because so many people don't have the bandwidth to properly experience it. So you're delivering a really great high-end experience to a limited fraction of your audience. That just, to me, doesn't make sense. So you can stream standard, but if you really want to, you can stream HD, and if you're going to get really technical, you can find ways to deliver multiple qualities to multiple people. But that's like level 300 stuff. So let's talk again. FireWire. If you have a standard camera sitting around it, it has FireWire. You can ask any AV guy, does this camera have a FireWire? You can look for this port right here. FireWire. If you have that, you can stream, plug it into your camera. But what if you don't have FireWire? Because the reality is, guys, newer cameras that aren't tape-based don't. Because let me break this down as simple as I can as far as FireWire is concerned. Cameras that record to tape were able to send the signal instantly via FireWire into a laptop. Why? Because it's recording to tape. They're able to actually give it a time code. But what if it's recording it to a chip? Well, if it's recording to a chip, these like all your new hard drive cameras, they don't have FireWire. So people buy these nice new cameras and they wonder, how the heck is it in 2011 I can buy a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 camera and I can't just live stream right out of the box, right? You can't. You can't because there's no way to get the signal into your camera, actually into your laptop in real time. They've actually phased out FireWire. It's phased out as far as the same way mini DV tapes are phasing out because they're compatible together. So what do you do if you want to have a nice HD camera and you don't have FireWire? Don't worry, guys. There are solutions for you. and they are converter boxes. There are two kinds you're going to want to know about: Black Magic and CamTwist. Black Magic and CamTwist. This is what you want to know. Okay, guys? So if you want to live stream with a nice high-end HD camera, all you have to do is find a way to send the signal from the camera very simply into a converter box like this that converts it into a signal that you can put into your computer. Blackmagic and CamTwist are the two versions. I'm not going to recommend a specific box because the reality is, depending on the type of camera, it can be a little different. Blackmagic has amazing customer service. I'd recommend starting with them. All you got to do is give them a call and say, here's the kind of camera I have and I want to live stream. Here's the kind of laptop or computer I have, and that's it, and they'll help you from there. This is the thing people don't know about. How expensive are they? Well, they start about $399. They can go up to pretty hefty prices, but you're looking at spending another $400 to $600 on top of an expensive camera to be able to live stream. So, is that realistic? Some people think that it is, some people think that it's not, but, well, here's my answer. Use your higher-end HD camera to shoot all your normal YouTube videos, to shoot your promotional videos, and keep a nice trusty camera around that you can live stream with. Now, if you want to invest in a nice box, invest in a converter box. But if you're still a smaller shop, you're trying to figure this out, find that older camera around campus. You'd be surprised how good the quality can still be. I have a Canon XL1. It's a nice, big, old-school camera. Amazing quality for live streaming. Doesn't do HD, but that's okay with me. I use my HD, hard drive-based cameras for a lot of the YouTube stuff I shoot, but this is what I use for live streaming. So yeah, it means maybe two different cameras or a converter box, but this is the thing. People always get confused. If my camera doesn't have FireWire, what do? Blackmagic or CamTwist, or CamOpus. It's not CamOpus. It's CamTwist. Well, that sounded the same, but you know what I'm saying. It's let's stick with Blackmagic then. And so that's what you need to know about converter boxes. And there's even still more that you can do, actually. There are some new tools out there that are coming out that are pretty interesting as well that you're going to want to keep an eye on. One of the things that you're looking at is a TriCaster, for instance, and this allows you to send a signal from a camera, and it does it via Wi-Fi, and it sends it to a computer. These are really expensive. You're talking like $2,000 at some points. I mean, maybe not quite that much for all of them, but a lot of them are getting up there. So keep this in mind. This is expensive. But why am I talking about a TriCaster? A couple reasons. One, Livestream.com has a version that streams directly from a camera into your live stream channel. That's right, directly into your live stream channel. So that's one thing to know about. And also, it works with DSLRs. See, I get this question a lot. People say, I have this really great DSLR camera, and I want to live stream with it. And I want to do it, and I have a Canon 7D, I have a 5D, I want to be able to use it. Well, first off, I'm going to say this, guys, those really aren't the best cameras to use for this, in my opinion. But if you want to do it, there's two ways. The TriCaster, $2,000, you can live stream with a DSLR, or you can live stream a DSLR, this is a fact, for free, with CamTwist. I'm going to talk about what CamTwist is in a minute, but for right now, I'm just going to dump a link out. It says how to use your DSLR as a webcam. I'm going to send it out. I'll tell you this, the quality's going to suffer a little bit. It's not going to be great, but if you got a Canon, maybe Nikon, whenever you're sitting around a nice DSLR and you want to figure it out, the link's out there. Follow that link. That's information on how to turn your DSLR into a webcam that you can live stream with, because it can be done, and you don't need to spend that $2,000. But again, I test the quality. I've never been terribly happy with it, and I think it's always better to invest in a camera for live streaming. Again, $600 for a nice little live streaming camera, and I think that definitely works, at least for me. So guys, thanks for keeping all the dialogue coming. I'm trying my best to keep up with everything. I know I'm missing some questions out here. If I miss your questions, I apologize. I will get back to them. I'll put every single answer to every single question in the archive of this show. That'll be up at higheredlive.com. So please keep that in mind. So as far as DSLRs, that's where we're at, guys. Remember, you can technically stream with a DSLR. I don't recommend it. You can do it for free with a little bit of hack around with CamTwist, or you can get a TriCaster, which is a pretty cool piece of equipment, but I don't know, $2,000. So I don't know. At that point, why don't you spend $600, make something happen like that? That would be my answer. Or get a converter box for the HD cameras that you have sitting around. Now here's the next best question people ask. What about multiple cameras? How can we do multiple cameras? People are always going to ask, the second you get permission to live stream an event, they're going to want 8 cameras. They're going to want guys on dollies, people in cranes. They're going to want crews running everywhere. This is just the way people are. They get all excited, and they want to have people running around doing stuff. Well, first off, you don't need multiple cameras for an event. You do not need multiple cameras for a live stream event. You know why? Because people just want to experience the event. It's not necessarily some massive production. So back up a little bit and just chill the heck out, dude. But that being said, if you want to have multiple cameras, I'm not here to stop you. Get amped, get excited, figure this stuff out. There are 2 ways you can have multiple cameras live streaming. The first and the awesome and the easy way, with Ustream or with Livestream, you can have up to 3 cameras off a single computer. But here's how. Here's the trick. One, you have your webcam right now. Webcam, right? Number two, you can have a camera going into FireWire port, right? And number three, you can have another laptop or another camera going into the USB. Now, not all USB cameras can stream. It has to be USB streaming, but if you have like a USB webcam, you could have a USB webcam, you could have your built-in webcam if you're off a laptop, and have a FireWire camera, 3 cameras into one computer. I've done it before on Higher Ed Live. We did it when we had a couple in-person events with a lot of people coming in, so that's pretty cool. But the quality's not amazing, right? Clearly a built-in webcam and clearly a smaller USB webcam aren't going to be the same caliber for events. So can you do multiples that way? Yes, you can. It's a hack way to do it, but hey, nothing wrong with doing that if you're resourceful. But if you want to really get serious, here's the thing to talk to your AV department about, because let's be honest, they're probably most of the budget. It's called a TriCaster. These things start around $4,999, about 5,000 bucks. They run all the way up to $15,000, $20,000. This is where you can take in multiple HD cameras, and this is your mixing board. This is where you switch. Remember how I was showing you guys earlier, Ustream Producer? And I was saying how you can switch between multiple cameras, multiple shots? Well, with TriCaster, they do all that for you. So you're taking multiple HD cameras in, and you're sending a single signal out to your computer or your laptop, and you're sending it up. So TriCaster. If you want to get serious about multiple HD streaming with multiple cameras, this is what you need. This is what's being used all over the place. Lots of campuses have one. We have one here at SNHU with our great AV folks on campus. I've seen them all over the place, but again, barrier to entry is huge, starting at $5,000. So if you want to have a little bit of fun with it, though, you can kind of find some hacks to make stuff happen. That's right. I said you can do up to 3 cameras, right? You can do it with a USB webcam. You can do it with a built-in webcam. You can do it with a FireWire. That's 3 cameras. But what if I told you that you could live stream an event and have up to 8 to 10 different cameras all coming in at the same time? Hear me out, guys. I'm about to drop a really cool idea. I haven't even tested this out beyond just testing it like in my home, so I'm a little bummed I'm giving this juicy piece of info out, but I hope somebody runs with it. In fact, the first person that runs with it is going to get dinner and a beer from me. The next time you put on an awesome campus event, right, where you're streaming something exciting, guess what you do? You have people use their phones, and you have them either Skype in to a multiple Skype call, or you can even do a Google Plus Hangout. So let's do Skype. You're having people Skype in from their phones to a multiple person conversation, right? Then all you do is you pull up the Skype conversation on your computer, and then you just drag the desktop presenter. So one thing you can do with Ustream Producer, and just very easily with Ustream Producer, is called the desktop presenter. That's how you're seeing your own tweets up on screen right now. What I actually have is I have Tweetdeck open on my screen, and all I did was drag a box around the screen where I wanted to display, and I said display this part of the screen whenever I click this button. That's essentially how Desktop Presenter works. So it's pretty cool stuff, right? Well, what if I was showing a Skype conversation, and then all of a sudden you're seeing someone's video? Guess what? That's how we do Higher Ed Live. We have a conversation with someone via video chat, and we just drag the box around the window, and you can see them. That's pretty cool. Imagine if that was a multiple person conversation or multiple person Google Plus Hangout. Like last week we had 2 different people on. Now all of a sudden you can have cameras from all over the country or all over a room all coming in through one place, pulling that screen up, and now all of a sudden you can have a Skype window being displayed, you can have FireWire camera being displayed, you can have a USB webcam and a built-in webcam. That is 4 different video sources, including one that can have up to 10 different videos within it, all hacked together, all without having to buy a $5,000 TriCaster. What's the point in this? The point is not to go out and try and necessarily do exactly that, but the point is to say that you can do darn near anything you want to with live streaming. The power is there. Again, you're watching a show that we created right now. Eric Stoller's watching this. I'm pulling his stuff up. You know, what Eric knows as well as I do, because the 2 of us run both of our shows here on Higher Ed Live, props to Student Affairs Live, is the fact that this is a setup that we have that we kind of hacked together. I mean, I essentially sat down and said, how can I host my own show, bring on different guests, display tweets, be able to pull up images? This isn't just cut and dry. This isn't out of the box. Now, I know that can be intimidating. I know that can be a little bit scary, but don't let it be. Get excited about it. And in fact, I can help you with it if you need to, because it can be done. You can put these hacks together and create a really cool creative experience. What I'm trying to say is don't replicate necessarily what I'm doing or exactly what I'm saying, but think about what you want to do first, and you can find a way to make it happen. Is it a headache? Is a little bit hard? Sure, but it's fun. You know, it's fun. And the beauty is I did a lot of this hard work for you. Hopefully I can give you this information. You can start a lot farther along than I did when I tried to figure this stuff out years ago, because it was a headache back then, but not so much anymore. So that's the hack issue. I want multiple cameras at this event. Set up a separate laptop over there, have the 2 laptops Skype together, boom, 2 cameras across one room without buying a $5,000 TriCaster. It can be done. Again, if you want to buy a TriCaster, do it. If you have the money for this equipment, man, I will have some fun with you working out a $30,000 budget if you want to gear up. But if you're like a lot of institutions that are being cash-strapped and you're making this argument right now that we want to live stream because we give a shit about our community and your bosses or your boss's bosses are saying, well, I'm not really sure and they don't want to invest any money, don't worry about it because you can connect with your community and provide valuable information and experiences and engage with them for free. For free! That's right, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So that's what you can do. Let's keep moving along. Let's keep going. What's up next, right? Here's the big one, physical team. What do you need to live stream? Okay, we know we need a camera, we know we need a computer or a laptop, and we know that we need, an internet connection, maybe a cable. So what else do we need? Here's what you need to live stream. One person, one laptop, one camera. Let me say that again, guys. You need one person, one laptop, one camera. I said this at Hijack Web this year during my presentation. Do you have one person on your campus? Do you have one camera? Do you have one laptop? And everyone was like, yeah. And I was like, well, you can live stream. Don't tell me you can't because it's one person, one laptop, one camera, and that is all you need. That being said, I'm going to spill the beans and tell you the best kind of setup is 2 people, 2 laptops, 1 camera. And here's why. You have 1 camera, you have 1 laptop, and you have 1 person, and they're in charge of the video. They're in charge of making this show happen. And that other person's in charge of kind of the social and engagement part of it. As you can see right now, it is tough for me to try and keep up with your tweets, right? I'm trying to pull up with your tweets. I'm trying to tweet back at you. I'm trying to do the social engaging portion of this, and I'm also trying to do the production side of things. Now, Eric Storer will back me up on this. This is freaking hard to do. It's a lot of multitasking to be able to direct a show, follow a conversation, tweet back at you, know where I'm going next. So that's why, ideally, don't put yourself in that situation. Have 2 people. One person's kind of the social engagement person, promoting the event, making sure that people are talking about it, and the other one's there to be the production person. So it's production, it's kind of promotion and management. And the cool thing about promotion and management is that's the person that takes these events from having someone be a passive observer to an active participant. What do I mean by that? What I mean is do not just do a live stream where someone's watching an event and they can't communicate with you, because that's no better than watching a YouTube video, and that's not engaging at all. What's really exciting is when you can have someone watch an event and say, guess what, if you have a question, you can ask it. Now, I know I said earlier in the show that you could ask questions, and I know I've been breezing over most of them because I am just freaking flying and doing my best to comprehend what's going on, but in theory, how much better is this show because I can pull up your tweets and actually say, look, guys, I'm hearing what you're having to say. I'm shifting this conversation. This means that I've taken you guys as viewers and said, you're not going to be passive observers. I'm going to put the tools together to make you active participants. This is what makes live streaming so exciting, so don't leave it behind. And what I mean by that is build a team that supports that. A team that supports that is 2 people. One person's going to be the social person, and the other person who is the simple production, which is 1 person, 1 laptop, 1 camera. Boom. Roasted. That's what you need to know about the physical team and the setup. Now, the sky is the limit, so you can have a whole lot more people, you can have a whole lot more equipment, so don't stop there, but I'm telling you right now, find one other person on your campus, and 1 other laptop, 1 camera, and you guys can start doing this. Again, do it alone if you have to, but I'm just saying that's what you can do. So the next question people ask me all the time is, well, okay, so it's Ustream or Livestream, that's the software I need. And I say, well, guys, let's be honest. There's some more software out there that you can use. And I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks right now and some additional software that we use here at Higher Ed Live that can really take your events to the next level. The first one, CamTwist. CamTwist, okay? It's a software that essentially lets you take your webcam and send it to multiple places. Multiple places. And by the way, 1 person, 1 desktop, 1 camera totally works. It's just tough to drag a desktop all over campus. Gets a little bit heavy, but it can be done. It can totally be done. Don't let it stop you, especially if you're in event space. So, what is CamTwist? Back to that, right? CamTwist lets you send your cameras to more than 1 location. Why is that important? Because you may not know, but it's hard for you to actually pick up your cameras and send them to 2 places at once. If you're trying to have a Skype conversation with someone and also send the camera into Ustream, it's not possible. So that's really a big thing to note. So CamTwist lets you take a camera and it lets you send it in a couple different directions. By the way, CamTwist for Mac, 100% free. Yeah, for Mac, I know. But it's 100% free. So what you can also do beyond send your camera to multiple places is you can also put text under it. You can put all sorts of effects. If you guys have ever, Tiny Chat with me, Tiny Chat's a website where you can have like multiple chat rooms. And I go in there sometimes and I have snow falling behind me and a neon. All that stuff's done with CamTwist. I hate to give that tip up because I always had fun messing with people, but download CamTwist if you have a webcam and just fool around with it. It's really fun to check out. It's entirely free. And again, on Higher Ed Live, we can actually send up my camera this camera right here, into a Skype conversation and also send it into Ustream or Livestream at the same time. So that's pretty cool, and that's what CamTwist does for free. Next up is the best $29 you will ever spend, and it's called Audio Hijack Pro. Bust out those pens and those keyboards, guys. Write that down, Audio Hijack Pro. Oh, sorry, the question came in. Let's pull that up. What is the Windows alternative for CamTwist? It's called Webcam Max. That's right. So I'm not a PC, so it's hard for me to remember that. It's Webcam Max is what makes that happen. And it's really, really cool. Stolar's got some great tips out there. Again, guys, follow up with him too. He's a master at this stuff. So that's Webcam Max is the PC version of that. And now back to Audio Hijack Pro. What the heck is Audio Hijack Pro, and what the heck does it do? Audio Hijack Pro lets you take your audio from your computer and send it anywhere else. Now, what does that mean? Okay, you're on your browser, right? And you go to, let's say, YouTube, and you're watching a video. Well, your audio is going, obviously, into your computer's speakers. But what if you wanted to send that somewhere else? Well, Audio Hijack Pro lets you say, I want to hijack the audio from A and send it to B. Do you follow me here yet? And what I mean by this is, you can say, take the audio from Skype and take the audio from iTunes and send them both to the same place. Now, where are you sending them? This is another software, write this down, called SoundFlower. So you want to remember Audio Hijack Pro, 29 bucks, worth it, and SoundFlower. Audio Hijack Pro hijacks audio and sends it anywhere you want on your computer. SoundFlower is sort of like your own personal mixing board. And here's how it works. You install SoundFlower, and then you hijack all the audio you want, and you send it to SoundFlower. I want to pick up my internal microphone. I want to pick up my Skype conversation. I want to pick up iTunes. I want to pick up the YouTube video I'm playing. I want to pick up all of that audio and send all of it to SoundFlower. Then I go into Ustream and I say, what's my audio source? It's not my microphone, it's SoundFlower. And what SoundFlower actually is, it's a pool of all the audio sources that you've hijacked. Audio Hijack Pro plus SoundFlower means you can have multiple audio sources. How else do you think we can have a Skype conversation and then play you music and then pull up a video and you can hear that? This is the kind of stuff that gets a little technical. It took me a little while to figure out. It was a stressful couple weeks. Audio Hijack Pro plus SoundFlower is the audio thing you want to know about. It makes things really exciting. It allows you to play music before events. It allows you to play videos with audio. It allows you to take Skype conversations. This is the thing to know. 29 bucks, guys. Download it. If you have a webcam, fool around with it. It's a lot of fun. Just an example of this, Kyle Judah, founder of Recoven, I called him on Skype one time. I used CamTwist to display an image instead of my webcam of Darth Vader. And then I went onto my browser on Firefox, and I went to a Darth Vader soundboard, and I hijacked that to SoundFlower, and when Kyle opened up his Skype call from me, it was Darth Vader talking to him through a soundboard. Now, I don't know what that has to do with live streaming events, but it was really cool and a good example of using the tools. So fool around with it, and if you can, Skype your friends and prank call them. It's prank calling 2.0 on Skype. Make it happen. There's a lot of cool things like that you can do with the tools. Now, beyond this, there's one more thing to talk about the softwares. Let's say you don't want to use Ustream or you don't want to use Livestream, or let's say you want to have the flexibility of moving from one platform to another. Because Ustream Producer Pro costs money. It costs $300 to $500, right? Livestream Pro Studio costs some money too. So how can you use this stuff? Well, there's a thing called Wirecaster. Wirecaster. And Wirecaster is basically just like Ustream Producer Pro, made by the same company. It's just like this, but it can be used on any platform. You essentially send your video in, and then from Wirecaster, you send your video out. So Wirecaster is a little bit more expensive, but it's another thing that you can use, and it's pretty cool. So I lost some people at audio hijacking. Let me just say this. Audio Hijack Pro, if you want to send audio to multiple places, if you want your audience to be able to hear music from your computer and hear the microphone on your camera, Audio Hijack Pro. Just stop there. I'll help you when you guys get stuck when you're doing an event and you know more, but just keep that in mind, okay? But that's what you want to know. So as far as Wirecaster, you don't really need to know, but if you guys want to be more portable and say, I want to use Livestream this week and Ustream the next, Wirecaster is like a mixing board on your computer that can go anywhere. It's a software. It's pretty cool. It's basically just like Ustream Producer Pro. It's built by the same company, and it's the way it is. So coming up next, let's see where we're going after this. That was software information for you to know. Next one is internet. This is a big thing to know about live streaming, is what kind of internet speed do you want to have? Here's a simple thing. If you are streaming, you want to have 1 megabyte upload or higher. 1 megabyte upload or higher is the speed you want to have to live stream. If you have anything lower than 1 megabyte upload, you have a chance of having really bad buffering and bad experience for your audiences. That being said, You don't need 1 megabyte, but that's the threshold you want to look out for. So what does that mean? Can you live stream over Wi-Fi? People always ask me. Yes, you absolutely can. I wouldn't recommend it, but it can be done. I've live streamed a lot of events, even some Higher Ed Live shows, over Wi-Fi. I've even done them over those MiFi cards, those portable wireless network cards. I've done that too. The key with streaming over a Wi-Fi network is, can you guarantee you're going to have 1 megabyte upload or higher the entire time? Because sometimes if you have a big event, a lot of people get on the internet, they slow the speed down, right? And if the speed slows down, the experience is going to totally fall apart for your online audiences. So it's 1 megabyte upload or higher. Anytime you possibly can, tether that thing, plug it in. But if you have to do it over Wi-Fi, 1 megabyte upload. How do you know what your internet speed is? Speedtest.net. Speedtest.net lets you know what the internet speed is of the network you are on right now. So what does it mean, though, if you can live stream over a Wi-Fi card, over a Wi-Fi signal in general? Does your campus have Wi-Fi? Ready for this, guys? This is another quick idea of what you can do with live streaming. Take a camera, take a cable, plug it into a laptop, start live streaming over a Wi-Fi network. Set your laptop to say, run all programs when the lid is shut. So then what you do is you start streaming, you shut the lid on your laptop with the camera and the cable, you're actually streaming, you throw that laptop in a backpack, you can walk all around campus live streaming a campus tour. You can live stream a campus tour from a backpack, not plugged into anything else. If your Wi-Fi signal can handle it, the technology exists. Just a laptop, a person, and a camera. That's a creative thing that you can do to live stream campus events, live stream a campus tour. You can do a lot of crazy stuff. So you can get creative, but again, the big thing is your internet signal stable. That's what you need to keep in mind. That's why I try whenever possible to never stream over Wi-Fi, because I don't want you guys to be watching a show and have it drop out part of the way through. So that's the thing to know about that. Beyond that, if you want to spend some real money, there's a thing called LiveU. L-I-V-E, letter U, and this is a wireless backpack that uses multiple mobile cards to stream. It's really expensive, but if you guys work at all with TV news, this is the thing they're using now. Satellite trucks are the way of the past. People are live streaming online with a thing called LiveU, L-I-V-E-U. Check it out online. It's cool. It's a backpack that lets you stream darn near anywhere. You can't really buy it. You got to rent it, and the thing is expensive as heck, so it's unlikely your campus is going to get to do it, but if you were, let's say, having a commencement event outside and there's no way you could run an internet signal that far, you know, the LiveU backpack is an option. One thing to note, too, run your Ethernet cords far. You can run your Ethernet about 250 feet before the signal degrades to the point that you need to boost it back up again. So I live streamed an event outside in the middle of a quad at UCLA by running a cable all the way across the quad out a window and made it happen. So that's the thing to know about that. Next up is recording. People always ask about how you record your shows. Well, whether you're using Livestream or Ustream, you can record the shows directly with that platform, and that's what you should do. That's what we do here at Higher Ed Live. We record all our shows right to Ustream. And what happens is it's saved on the Ustream servers, and then from there, you can download a flash video version of it. So you can download the version. So if you're doing a campus event and you're streaming it, where do you record it? You can record it right to the platform you're using, whether it's Livestream or Ustream, and you absolutely should. Now the cool thing is, the Ustream has a feature, for instance, where you can push that to YouTube. The problem? They've never upgraded since YouTube upgraded their Macs for time limits. So if you have an hour-long event, they're going to tell you you can't push that to YouTube. YouTube only takes 15 minutes, which is not true. YouTube upgraded their time limits, but Ustream never upgraded their own software. So boo to that. But what I'm trying to say, bottom line, if you want to live stream your events and record them to Ustream, yes, but still record them to your camera. If you're just doing a traditional event where you're shooting out, record it to your camera, because the quality you're going to get on a camera is always going to be better than the quality you get from Ustream. Same thing with Livestream. The quality is just not amazing. You guys probably know that from watching the archives of Higher Ed Live. We do have to record it only via Ustream, and we download it, and then we actually edit it a little bit, and we put it back up on YouTube, and the problem is the quality is just not really there. It's not great. But you can record with these platforms. You can technically push to YouTube, although there's some hurdles, and still don't stop recording directly to your camera. That's pretty cool. And yeah, as Eric Solar says, the pretty cool feature with Ustream is an auto-save feature, because even when it crashes, which does happen occasionally, it saves things. So that is pretty cool, and it's pretty neat stuff. So that's recording. The big thing, social with your events, guys. You got to understand how to make these events social. We talked about having a dialogue. Well, you can do it. Ustream has built-in chat features. Livestream has built-in chat features. You want to pull in a hashtag, just like we're doing today on the show. We're pulling in a hashtag Higher Ed Live. This is the way to go. This is not common, or it's not challenging stuff. This is pretty common stuff here. But you can do a little bit more. With either Ustream or Livestream, you can also put in a Facebook tab, or well, it used to be called Facebook tab. Now I guess this is the Facebook menu items on the side. But you can have a page within your Facebook page for a live streaming event. And what you can do is you can actually set that page to be the main page people see when they land on your Facebook page. So like right now on Higher Ed Live on Facebook, we don't do this, but we could. You could land on there, and then instead of seeing our wall, for instance, you're seeing a live video right there from Facebook. That's pretty cool. And I'm not an advocate for locking your Facebook page, but even then you could put a video on exclusively on Facebook and then lock it. And then people have to like the page to watch the video. Again, I'm not a proponent of that, but there's some cool things you can do like that to incorporate that into marketing efforts. I really like the idea of live streaming on Facebook, for instance, and pushing people there because it's a great social experience and it gets them into a community where they can stay connected with you after the event. That's pretty cool. And that goes to say, too, wherever people are watching the video is up to you. They can watch it on Ustream or Livestream, or if you're watching this right now on Higher Ed Live, you're probably watching this on higheredlive.com, right? And the video is embedded. And our goal for doing that was that we wanted you to be in part of the Higher Ed Live experience. We wanted to have the tweets going on underneath you. We wanted information on the side, so if you wanted to browse into other articles or episodes, you could. So you can always embed it, obviously, but you know, Facebook is an option too, and I think that is pretty interesting. And pulling up another tip from Eric Stoller, fastest way in his opinion to track live streaming combos is via ChromeDeck, running a single column with your hashtag. Do something very similar with TweetDeck myself, so it's a great way to follow the conversations. That's what you're looking at right now. Here is TweetDeck itself, so definitely something to keep up with. And finally, guys, tips and tricks. I've done a lot of these events. I've done over 100, so let's talk for a second about how to make it happen. The number one thing to remember is promotion. If you stream it, will they come? No, not if you don't tell them to. If you stream it, will they come? Only if you tell them. Bottom line, guys, please remember that. So what does that mean? Of course you're going to promote it with your current social networks, with your current communities, clearly. But let's get creative. At UCLA, we held an event in 2009 where we had 50,000 people watch an event with a zero budget. We streamed with no money. 50,000 people watched, over 1,000 concurrent people. How did we do it? I didn't even get into all these tips at High Ed Web. So if you watch my High Ed Web presentation, guys, this is the juicy stuff. This is how we did it. So how do you get 50,000 people to watch your event? Well, there's a few ways that you can do it. The first one, if your event is full of interesting speakers or people that have a public persona, give them a business card with the URL. If someone is speaking at your event, they want to make sure that other people know about it, right? So what we did at this event, for instance, Ariana Huffington was there, a guy from Duran Duran, the CEO of Dropbox. We went up to all of them and gave them a business card and said, hey, just so you know, we're streaming your talk right now at this URL. Well, they go ahead, either they or their people, and they send a tweet out. They want to let their fans and their followers know where they are. So definitely, if you're going to stream an event, whatever it is, make sure the people that are participating in the event know about it so they can promote it for you. But they're not the only ones. Also, the people know that are in the room. Because if someone is attending an event, they also probably want to be a part of it. So what you can do is, anytime we live stream an event here, you put signs up on the doors when people are walking in. This event is being live streamed at this short URL. We use Bitly, you might use tinyURL, whatever it is. Short URL, because if people are coming to an event, they also probably want to tell their friends or colleagues. So give them that opportunity to turn your current attendees into your own ambassadors. It's these little things, guys. Business cards, signs on the door at the physical event. This stuff matters. Clearly, your built-in social network, and the more you do this, you're going to be building a culture that expects this, and they're going to get used to it. But here's the other one. Work with the platform that you're streaming with. How did we really get 50,000 people to watch an event on Ustream from UCLA? You want to know the real way? The real way we did it is I just asked Ustream if they'd put us on the homepage. That was it. I sent them a tweet. They knew the event was happening. We sent them an email before. Both Ustream and Livestream have email accounts for events. In this case, Ustream's event people, I have to say, are better. They're way more responsive, at least in my experience. But I literally just sent a tweet to Ustream and said, hey, we're streaming right now. Do you mind featuring us? And they put us on the homepage of Ustream.tv. Work with the platforms. If you're using these platforms, work with it. Because the reality is Livestream and Ustream, they want to be known as the best live stream platform. And the best live stream platform has the best content. So if you have a cool event or a cool speaker going on, tell the platform. They want to market it. They want to promote it. They want people to know that they are the home of that event. That's the cool thing that you can do. So don't forget about that. Now that's promotion, guys. Don't ever slow down with that. Keep up with the promotion. You have to do it to make it happen, to make people watch. And the more you do this stuff, you're going to be building a community of people that are going to come back and keep watching and make this happen. But that is not alone, okay? What are the next takeaways? What else do I have for you? And believe me, guys, I know I'm wrapping up. Give me 5 minutes. We're going to make this happen. I'm going to tie up a nice little bow. We're all going to go home. So, production. Remember the basics for production, guys. The quality of your audio is the quality of your audio. What do you have going into the camera? What's the quality of your video? Are you able to white balance? How good is the camera? Is your camera on a tripod? Basic production will make more of a difference in your live stream experience than fiddling with bandwidth settings or doing anything else. I've talked to a lot of people in live streaming. They talk about, yeah, you can fiddle with this setting, fiddle with that setting. Bottom line is production value is the best thing you can do to increase the user experience. So just think about the basics. White balance, put your camera on a tripod, think about where you're going, think about the lighting. This is the kind of stuff that makes it happen. Also, rehearsal. Number one thing I learned at UCLA, I don't know if it's anywhere else, you guys can tell me right now actually, is they lock the internet ports in conference rooms when there's no one there. So I would go to an event and the port might be turned off, and I'd plug my cable in it or it wouldn't work. How can I live stream if I don't have internet? And just because you think there's internet in a room doesn't mean it necessarily is. So get there and test. I always do a dress rehearsal where I bring a laptop, bring a camera, go in, plug in, test the signal strength, and then have someone look at the quality back in another office. Got to get in there and do that. I can't stress enough. Showing up at an event and having a port turned off is not good. Or showing up at an event where it's supposed to have a port turned on and then it's not working, but the Wi-Fi is, but you're sharing it with the room. These are the kind of problems that you can eliminate with dress rehearsals. So worry about that. Put in your time. You do the legwork early, you don't have to stress late. That's an important thing to keep in mind. And lastly, guys, add graphic elements. I know it's not a big thing, but this stuff adds a little bit. Being able to pull things up, being able to share images. These are the kind of things, again, I'll pull it up right here, using a Ustream producer, using a Livestream TriCaster, that add an element of production value. You gotta do a little bit more homework. I spent 2 hours last night loading in all these freaking slides, and it was a little bit annoying after a long day, but I did it because I wanted you guys to be able to watch an event where I'm talking and I'm able to pull up images. And when I say Audio Hijack Pro, there's your Audio Hijack Pro. When I'm saying Skype, hey, look, there's Skype, guys. That's what I wanted to do. So I did the homework early and you were able to experience that. Production value. Think about that. Think about what you can do with the graphic elements in your production value to enhance it and make it a little bit better. So finally, guys, what are the real takeaways with live streaming? This is live streaming 101, 201, maybe a little bit of 300. What do I want you to take away right now? You know that I drew a weird line between live stream and Ustream. Bottom line is this. Whatever you do, whatever you use, involve your audience. Make this a two-way conversation. Listen to people, answer their questions, and make them active participants in what you are doing. Secondly, as crazy and as stressful as this is, it's easier than you think. I promise. I promise you can make it happen. You can do it. Start small, start easy, start with ads, with a webcam or with one camera. Start low-key, but don't worry about it. It's easier than you think. You can take on bits and pieces the farther and farther you go along, the more complicated you want to get. You don't have to dive in the deep end. This is kind of a kiddie pool. Just wade your way in, and you're going to have a good time. Finally, what else? It's that at the end of the day, live streaming matters more than you think. That's why the real bottom line, guys, the real bottom line, one takeaway I want you to have today is this. You're only doing it wrong if you're not doing it. When it comes to live streaming, you're only doing it wrong if you're not doing it. It's darn near 2012, and we have community members all over the world. Stakeholders who care. We have students, their parents, we have alumni all over the world, and yet we largely ignore them. And we only send them, what, maybe a magazine twice a year, and we ask them for a bunch of money. And they're not really part of campus. And why not? Because they can't physically come to campus. It seems to me that we spend 99% of our resources catering the 1% of people that can constantly come to campus. If you can't physically make it back to your alma mater, sorry, alum, we don't really care. We don't really want you to be a part of something unless it's really convenient for you to show up. But guess what? 10 years ago, that was an excuse that made sense. If you couldn't make it to an event, what were they supposed to do? But the reality is this. With one camera, one laptop, and one person, for free, you can engage your global audience in real time with live streaming. So you cannot tell me that it's not worth doing when there is no cost burden. The only burden is putting the responsibility on our shoulders to give a shit, that our community should be respected, responded to, and engaged as much as possible. So keep the faith and understand that this is a bigger thing than you think. We are at the most tiny level of live streaming in any industry, and especially in higher education. The reality is that having live, engaging video experiences, we are at the lowest level. The opportunities are darn near endless. It is amazing what you can do with this technology. The technology we are doing right now, from here in New Hampshire to wherever you are watching live, to me pulling up your tweets and having a conversation with you, this stuff is powerful. It's really powerful, and it matters. And you can use it to engage, to connect, and have a meaningful impact in someone else's life and allow them to have a meaningful impact in yours. This is what community is all about. It's about opening up events. It's about sharing experiences. And live streaming lets it happen. And you can do it. You can do it for free, and you can do it with a little bit of information. I know I covered a lot of stuff today, and I don't want you guys to sit back and think, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do this. One camera, one laptop, and one person. Start small. Pick one event. Pick one person talking to a camera. One thing. Pick one thing today and try it. And then from there, have fun. It is fun to challenge yourself and to see what else you can do. Perfect example, guys. Watch this right now. New Hampshire to Hawaii, real time. Tell me that's not powerful stuff. That all around our industry right now, people that care about higher education, care about this stuff, are having a conversation. That's really, really cool. Think about what you can do in your campus right now using the same kind of technology, the same kind of conversation. You have a guest lecturer coming in, open it up to every living alumni from that former program. Allow them to engage and connect with their faculty. The opportunities are endless. The only thing that limits our ability to live stream is ourselves. So this has been Livestreaming 101, kind of 201, maybe a little bit of 300. I hope I didn't scare you off. I hope you found this a resource. I hope you found it useful. Now, as I said, I'm not going to be here next week because Fran is coming on the show. His blog post was so darn powerful, I literally just sent him an email and said, come on the show, man. Host your own show. I want to hear what you have to say. Because at the end of the day, that's what Higher Ed Live is all about. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about the conversation, about the broader dialogue. So I really, deeply and truly appreciate you guys spending this time with me here and being a part of Higher Ed Live. And check out higheredlive.com. We have more posts going on. We have a lot of stuff going on. And guys, 2012 is going to be a huge year. Trust me. I have some stuff in the works I can't wait to share with you. But until then, thank you for your time. I deeply appreciate it. Any and all questions you ever have, I will do my darndest to answer. I hope you have a great day, and I'll be watching just like you guys are next week for Fran's show, and then after that, I'll be back with a really, really great show about EdgeRank and Facebook. If you don't know about that, it's one of those powerful things impacting your brand on Facebook today. It's pretty cool. We'll be talking about that too. But until then, I'll catch you next time. Keep us posted, keep us in mind at higheredlive.com.